Alrighty, this is going to be a quick little video on the Simplex 4005 that I got earlier last week. It is up for sale on my eBay, but I'm going to show you some of the functions of it before you place your bids or even consider buying this. So right up here, you've got remote user interface. You can program that in, internal remote user interface, and then detector power. This is for smoke detectors. So you run these to your detector, and then the zone goes to the switch on the detector. That's how you wire a 4-wire detector. It's got 8 zones, and then it's got 4 NACs, and you can change them to be relays. And you can see right here it says aux position. You would move this over 1 like these 2 are down here, and then down here it says NAC position. NAC position would be this moved over. And each of these has a fuse. This one has these 2 outputs have resistors on them. I've got a Genesis horn strobe hooked up with the resistor on it. And the way that I can configure this, I will ask you once the sale is completed if you would like me to program this for you. And if so, I'm going to go into here and we're going to go into programming. We're going to continue, and if you want me to edit anything like the coding, right here you can change it between slow march, steady, fast march, and temporal. Right now I have them set on slow march. And then that's the end of that menu. To edit point, you can see it says heat detector for input 1, which is this one. I can change that by pressing function. I can edit the point label, which is going to edit this right here. IO card 1, input 1, you could say main entrance, and then below it's going to say heat detector. And this is what I have it programmed for currently. And it's got 8 zones. I've got 4 that aren't being used. You can edit the relay. I got alarm relay. Right now I have this one set on till silence, and then this one on until reset. So if you'd like to leave it that way, I will. And then the other ones I just have set to signal circuits. Fire signal, they're on until silence, and that goes for both of them. And then none of this other stuff you need to worry about. You can edit a card, modify it right here, press function. You can change that to signal or auxiliary. Leave these 2 on signal because they're NACs. These 2 go on auxiliary because they're relays. And if you wanted to add a remote interface card, you can, just by going into programming, edit card. And the rest of the system options, really not anything to worry about. And as soon as you're done with that, you can go and scroll through the menu and you will see save config. But if you try and exit out of the menu after making those changes, it will say the buffer has changed and will prompt you to save it, which I really like. So you gotta press enter twice and it will configure your panel. It does have the digital alarm communicator transmitter, which is just hooked up to the City 1 DACT connector port. And this alone is not capable of sending signals. You actually have to get your dialer, radio, phone line, and hook it to here and this sends the signal to your dialer or radio, and that is what dials out. The dialer is what dials out, not this. So if you set the alarm off, don't worry about it if you have nothing hooked up to this. And it's even got a test function with this switch right here. And let's go ahead and set the alarm off. And that is on slow march time. So whenever you hear clicking in an ostinato pattern is these two relays whenever an alarm comes in. And you can set all of these zones to anything that you want. Like, let's go back into the menu. We can view points, view monitor, and we can get an insufficient access level. But let's go ahead and reset this. All right, now that it's reset, we will go back into the menu right there and go back into the menu, back into programming, edit point, monitor. You can set, let's set number 5 to just like a tamper switch. So point type, you got fire monitor, zone, water flow monitor, heat detector. Supervisory monitor. And now we can exit that, save it. All right, and now we are reset. And if we go ahead and short across this input with my little jumper cable, now we get a supervisory. But as you can see, as soon as I took it off, it went away. It's a non-latching supervisory. This is what you would want if you were to hook this up to a tamper or anything else that would be supervisory, like a pump power loss or pump phase reversal. That is what that would do. And we can short across it again just to see. You can see supervisory monitor. That is a supervisory because it is supervising a switch, and that switch has changed the state, and that is why it is showing that now. That is what a supervisory is. Fire alarms do have to monitor a few other systems like air conditioners and what have you. Like if you have this hooked up to a smoke detector in an air conditioner, you would want that to be a supervisory and not general alarm. And you could use one of these relays as a shutdown to shut down. You could set these to output on supervisory, a specific supervisory like this. So that's just a couple features that the panel has. And if you wanted to add more of these cards, you absolutely can. They are still readily available on eBay. You just go into the menu, and all you would do is just go to add cards, and typically it would just be right here. You could add 4-point NAC relay, 4-point IDC. These three are the ones that come stock. These are not optional, so you do not want to change this at all. But all of these other ones that say optional are able to be added in. They do not have to be stock with the panel. So that's just the basics on this panel, and I will put conduit knockout covers on all 3 of these holes instead of just leaving them open, because nobody likes that. And I will clean this up down here too. So anyway, that's really all I have to show for this thing. So happy bidding and good luck.